So I guess this is it. We're on. Let me go to my channel and find the video. Where is it here? There it is. All right. I've got it. Well, today is my birthday. I'm 54. I never expected to make it past 50, so I'm really not sure what I'm doing with myself. I'm doing art. That's what I'm doing with myself. But yep, 54. One more year and I'll be able to start getting senior discounts. Don't think I won't be doing that too, because I will. If they do senior discounts at 55 and older, I'll be there. So one more year until I get to enjoy that. What do y'all think about the glitter eyebrows, the blue glitter eyebrows? I decided to try something new tonight. I don't have any eyebrows anymore. They've all, as I've gotten older, they've all either turned white or fallen out. Like they're the same color as my hair, or they've gone away. So I don't have eyebrows, so I had to give myself some. So that's my festivity for my birthday, is blue sparkly eyebrows. So I'm just sitting here working on this. I need to get right on what I was going to do tonight, because it's going to be time consuming, but I'd really like to get this background finished. I'm really kind of obsessed with this right now. But so this is drawing number 4 of the series, where I'm doing the same drawing of the same guy, but in different styles with different mediums. So this is going to be my standard colored pencil, kind of the fantasy realism, where it's kind of like realism, but it's not photorealism. It's not meant to be photorealism, but it's meant to be realistic, kind of. It's that style I do. I guess I call it like a fantasy realism, because it's just, there's just something a little fantasy about it. But anyway, so this is one. I've done 3 others. Let me grab those. Let's see here. So this was the first one that I did. That was done with pastel pencils. And then the second one I did was marker and ink. Now I took a paintbrush and I painted the ink all over this for the black background. That's why it's so shiny. It's painted on ink. But anyways, he's done in marker, white gel pen, marker, and ink. Black ink. And then I did this one, which is all done with fine liners. I also decided not to put his facial hair on this one. Well, I kind of hinted at the beard, but because I didn't know, I really couldn't think of a good way to render it where it wouldn't just look sloppy. So I made him clean shaven on that. But yeah, that was all fine liners. See, it's all lines. I'm terrible at drawing straight lines. Look at that. Oh well, I don't want them all to be perfect. So yeah, so now I'm doing the colored pencil one. I'm going to do one also, even though I'm not very good at painting, I'm going to do one in gouache too. So I've been using this really cheap, because I can't afford the good stuff right now, I've been using this really cheap poster board to draw on. Like just standard, like the kind you used in school. You know how one side is slick, like it's got a coating on it, and the other side is not, it's like dull? Well, I use the dull side, and it works okay. It's not the greatest thing ever. I'm finding frustrations with it. I can't put all the layers on that I can with good paper. But for 5 sheets for $1.25, that's something I can actually afford. So, so I've been using this paper. Of course, if I'm doing a professional piece, if I'm doing a commission, I'm going to use the Strathmore heavy mixed media paper, which is made out of cotton. It's 100% cotton, and it's thick and heavy like cardboard. And you can use wet media on it. You can use dry. You can get in there, and it takes a lot of abuse. You can put layer upon layer upon layer of colored pencil. It never warps, or unless you're going in with 1,500 layers of colored pencil, you're not going to tear it or anything. this tears pretty easily. I have to be careful. I have to, instead of building up layer upon layer or even pressing hard, I have to use this sort of a medium touch and just kind of go over the same area over and over until it fills in. Also, these are weird pencils. These are metallic. These are the shuttle, well, one's a Shuttle Art and one's a Sioux-Color. Basically, Shuttle Art and Sioux-Color make the same pencils. So, they're a metallic pencil, which you can't tell. Well, it just looks shiny. You can't see the little specks of glitter in it. That's too bad. But anyways, it's got little tiny specks of glitter all in it. Yeah, this is metallic teal, which is real pretty. And like I said, I wanted to get this background finished at least because I've been working on it seems like forever. And if you've watched any of my other videos, the background is what takes me the longest. So like I'd be sitting here drawing live, and it would take me 2 or 3 weeks of filming to get just the background done. How boring is that? I know you don't want to just sit here and watch me fill in the background, so I'm going to put this away for now, even though I'm kind of obsessed with it. I know I get that way sometimes. I'll get really obsessed with something and I don't want to leave it alone. So for my birthday, my mother sent me, oh, thank you, Brad. My mother sent me a set of 120 Arteza pencils. Now there's a few that are pulled out here for the project I'm about to work on while I'm streaming. But so I pulled a few out. So if you see some missing, that's why. But they're gorgeous. I did them by color family, although I think I've got them in here backwards. So I've got gold here, and these are all the browns and earth tones and kind of like Caucasian flesh tones. And this cream color right here, I love this. This cream will be amazing for blending skin tones. I mean, that's going to be beautiful. It's got 5 trays that lift out. You know, they're just your standard flimsy plastic trays. Now, I'm not going to separate these out and stick them into my cans of colored pencils, because basically at this point, although I do have a lot of pencils that have almost never been used, those are just colors I don't reach for. Lots of really dark blues that I just don't use. Some super dark greens that I just don't use. I guess because I don't do landscapes. If I did landscapes, those colors would all be gone. Or more plants, you know. But this set has a lot of nice browns. It's got some nice cool tone browns, and I really like this here. It's called Earth Red. Oh, I already did. Oh, grab it here. Oh, stop. Pencil fell off the edge. I hate it when my color pencils fall. But I swatched every color in there. So I just sat here earlier, and excuse my horribly messy handwriting, but I wrote the color name and swatched each one. Oh, look, the gold is glittery. But yeah, I just sat here and swatched each one. These are all the browns and the earth tones and the flesh tones. And then you get into the pinks and the reds. And then into yellows, reds into yellows, reds into orange, and then yellow. There's not a lot of oranges and yellows in this set. Greens, of course. Greens into blues. You can't even see these greens. I don't know if y'all are, oh yeah, you can't see them because they're like green screen green. Y'all can't even see the colors. But there's all these pretty blues. In my camera, they all look alike. They don't look alike in person. They're really pretty. This is a really nice set here. And then we get into the purples and the different tones of gray, which once again, you can't see the subtleties between all these different tones of grays. And here's the light grays. So this is really a nice set. I've used Arteza watercolor pencils, which I use badly because I'm not very good at them. But I keep trying, and I'm learning more and more techniques to use them. So I am getting better. They're just not, you know, painting just is not my thing, even when starting with a pencil. because you really do have to think of watercolor pencils as watercolor. You can just do more detail because you can sharpen them to a fine point, you know. But the binder in watercolor pencils is different than the binder in regular colored pencils. And it's the binder in the regular colored pencils that allows me to mash the colors together to get those blends and stuff. I like a good waxy colored pencil. Probably Prismacolor is my favorite. You know, I'll reach for them first, and then after that, it took me a while to get used to them, but then the Luminance are also one of my favorites. You just can't beat those for doing a portrait of a person. You can really get just some beautiful, subtle blending and shifts of tone, and yeah, the Luminance are really perfect for doing portraits. So that's something that. But yeah, so I got these, and I'm going to be using these to work on the one that I was doing the background on, the fourth one of the guy. Like I said, I'll probably make more of that dude. I'll probably do several of that guy. Just, I don't know, it's just kind of like, it takes away from having to think about the actual subject matter and actually focus on, well, how do I want to make this look? Like, you know, what unique thing can I do to this to make it stand out? So yeah, I really like these pencils so far. Swatching them was a joy. I took a scrap of paper and did some blending, and they seem to work great. The white is not good. The white colored pencil is, yeah, it's not a good colored pencil, a white colored pencil, I'm afraid. Really only the Luminance and the Prismacolor. But I just had a really bad experience with the Prismacolors. I ordered a box of a dozen white Prismacolors, thinking that would last me for a while, and they were manufactured poorly. I don't know, they just crumbled. Like, I'd go to press them on the paper and they would just crumble like they just weren't manufactured right. So I went through like 12 pencils in a few days trying to, you know, use the white to blend and everything, and so that was very frustrating. And so here's what I was going to think about doing, well, for my birthday stream here. Is I am going to demonstrate 4 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 different types of colored pencil. Starting from the really inexpensive ones, the $4 pack of Crayola colored pencils, which, you know, you can make perfect. If you're making art for yourself, you're not making art to sell. If you're just making art to learn or just for your own entertainment, pleasure, whatever, Crayola colored pencils are fine. They're great for learning. You know, I've now been spoiled by having used really good ones, but if I would, you know, starting out, absolutely grab a pack. Go to Dollar General, grab a pack of 24 Crayola colored pencils for $4. So I've got those, and I've got the Shuttle Art Sucolor ones, which is the next level up, jumping from $4 for a pack of 24 to about $35 for 180 pencils. So that's not bad still, and we'll see. You know, those actually perform really well. And then I got the Arteza ones, which is the ones I pulled out. Then I've got Prismacolor, and then I've got the Luminance. So I was going to draw a simple drawing with each one of the different types of colored pencils, just to show you what they kind of look like, what the end result is. So let's see here. I'm going to get started with a piece of this paper. Nice clean one. I'm going to cut these in half. Not only big, I'm going to leave them big. So the first thing I'll do, there's a nice white sheet of paper. I love a nice white sheet of paper to get started on. Grab this mechanical pencil here, Now, what I'm going to choose to draw, I chose something simple so I could use a very limited palette. The only problem is that one of the colors I was not thinking, one of the colors is um, green, like green screen green. So that's going to be problematic. I apologize. I keep forgetting that that's a thing. Like, look, it looks black. So the picture, let me grab the photograph real quick so you can see it. Let's see, add source here. Excuse me. Oh dear, that's right. Okay. Um, this is going to take a hot minute. Let's go through all these drawing reference photos till I find my. I'm doing a lime slice, a slice of the lime. Very simple, just a couple of colors with a shadow. Just an easy way to demonstrate each one of these different brands of pencils to see what you kind of get. And I'm just going to, keep it simple. I'm not trying to draw the most realistic lime, not lemon, lime. I'm not trying to draw the most realistic lime ever seen. I am just trying to demonstrate these pencils so you can see. If I can ever find my lime here, I think I'm getting closer to where they are. I have so many. These are all reference photos for doing drawings. And I've got all kinds of weird stuff saved in here. One of my patrons on Patreon asked me why I don't do landscapes. And it's like, oh, I don't like landscapes. I don't mind doing like a flower or a plant. But landscapes, I've always hated doing them. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and do one. So I've saved a bunch of landscape pictures, which just looks weird in my pictures because I don't normally I'm not usually geared towards landscapes. I usually collect more interesting pictures of people. Oh, come on, man. It's probably going to be like the very last photograph in here. Because that's just how life works out. Oh, found it. There it is. I'm going to make it smaller. Alright, so we've got this lemon wedge. Lemon wedge. Now I'm gonna also pull the same image up on my own computer here where I can have the reference photo right in front of me. Now, I'm just going to be honest, all these little, the segments of the lime, they're not going to be exactly perfectly right and even. That's not going to happen, and it's, I may not get the exact number of segments. That's why I picked the lime. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like you're doing a portrait of a person or an animal where you have to get things right. It's it's a lime. So I'm going to draw each one right square in the middle of the page. It's roughly a circle. It's a rough circle. There's some bumpiness going on there, so I'm not going to worry too much. Okay, so lime. So about that far in. So basically, we got this. I'm terrible with sketching. I don't like people to watch me sketch usually. I do a lot of like errant lines that I erase, and so I'm trying to be really neat right now. That's why I'm like going really slow and hesitantly, and I shouldn't be. I should be drawing these lines more confidently. But you're watching me, so that makes it weird. So it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wedges. 12 wedges. See, they go out in different spots. So there's like 1, It's going this way. This is not going to work out for me. This is going to be a rough thing to draw. I know it seems like it'd be simple, but it's actually not. Plus, like I said, I get so nervous with people watching me. Right before I go on stream, my stomach gets upset. I actually get like a little bit of stage fright. I get a little queasy. Brad was asking me if I wanted to eat, and actually I'm very hungry, but I was feeling a little queasy right before stream. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to take this queasiness, and I'm not going to be able to do this slow on each one of these, so I need to... Here I go with my eraser. I have got the worst habits of any artist. This is where going to art school would be good for me, not because I plan on having an art career, a fancy art career or anything, but more because I've got stuff I need to learn, and I'd like to learn all of it. I'd like to learn all of the art stuff that's going on. I just, you know, I'd like to learn more materials. There might not be 12 wedges in this. You know what? I don't know why I'm doing this like hesitantly. This just needs to be done. So it's 1, 2, 3. I'm being quiet again. Y'all can't even see what I'm drawing. I'm sketching lightly. One of the things is you don't want to... This is all uneven. One of the things is you don't want to do your pencil lines too dark, because they'll show up through the even through layers and layers of colored pencil. You can get graphite lines showing. It kind of smudges into the colored pencil, and you can see it, and it's just not. It's not a good look. It's not pretty. And I guess that is something I am. I'm looking for something. I'm trying to make something pretty. Like I don't think of my art as being like trying to teach somebody. Oh dear. Oh, that would be my brother. I'll call him back after I stream. That would be my little brother. That was nice of him to call. I'll definitely call him back. My mom probably called him and said, "Call your sister." Yeah, I really like these colored pencils that my mom got me. I told her what to get, essentially. I've been wanting to try these for a long time. And I read a bunch of reviews about them, and there was a scandal, I guess it was last year, because they were behaving like watercolor pencils. People got them wet and they were running as if they were watercolor pencils. Like if you put a fixative on them, the colors would run. And so that was a big scandal, and they apparently addressed that and fixed their formula. So we'll see. I should get a wet brush, damp brush, and brush it over there and see what am I doing here. That is not right. I don't know why I just drew an extra line right there. Yeah, this is the part, like the sketching part, this is the part that nobody needs to be, this is the non-entertaining part. Nobody needs to be watching this boring ass stuff right here, but here I am showing it to you. You know, it can't all be the fun parts of the art, the exciting parts where you're putting in all the details you envision or whatever. Some of it's just the plotting and planning, thumbnailing, and that's something I've never really done. I've never really thumbnailed. Just, okay, I've got a problem. All right, let's make these two a little bit thinner. that one, and that one. And then I think we can fit the extra one in there. I don't know how many I've ended up with. I hate these cheap mechanical pencils because they put the eraser on the same edge that you click to make the leads go up, and as you're erasing, the lead goes up, and then you're wasting it. Is that by design, y'all? That's annoying. No, there needs to be one. That is just not. I mean, they're uneven, but mine are really uneven. I bet, see, a seasoned artist would know a trick to making this look better, but I don't. So, oh, no wonder I have 2 extra ones in there. This is a disaster. Okay, I'm just going to go with this because it doesn't have to be perfect. I have to tell myself that. It's weird doing art for a perceived audience because then they see all your insecurities and all your mess ups, and I'm going to give these different lengths here. It seems like that one needs to come more this way. That one needs to come more this way. That's a little better. I wonder if limes always have 12 segments, or if that's just if it varies between individual limes or maybe even species. I would like to find out now. Let me Google that real quick. Oh wait, I've got my keyboard down here. Oh, I can probably do it. How many segments does a line have? Orange, well, most lemons have 8 or 9 segments. Oranges and limes can have up to 12. So I've got 14 in here, so now it's not realistic. So guess what? Now I got to erase all this. I should have done my research before I started my drawing, eh? You think? Here we go.
That's what I like about you, Phyllis, your spontaneity.
Yeah, I'm spontaneous as I screw things up. There's got to be like a simpler way to do this that I just don't know about. Like I said, a seasoned artist could probably say, "Oh, you're doing a line. Well, you just draw this, this, and this, and then you see how it's got." You know, it would. There's probably a trick that somebody who knows more than me would be able to teach me, and I would be happy to learn. Like I said, I would love to go to art school, but not because I want the degree so I can get a job. I want to go to art school so I can learn all kinds of art. I want to take painting classes, and I want to take printmaking classes, and I want to take sculpture classes. I would like to take a jewelry making class. I'd like to take, there's all kinds of art stuff that I would just really, really, really like to learn. So it can only have up to 12 segments. So my 14 segment lime was not going to be functioning in the world as we know it, so I have to fix it. Now see, that kind of mistake right there, it's one thing if I'm drawing the lime and you know the segments are not even like they look in the picture or whatever, that's fine, but adding extra segments is just taking it too far. Especially since they don't have 14 in the real world. Okay, let's try this again, y'all. Okay, so we want 12. We want between 9 and 12. This particular one has 12. So where'd my pencil go? Okay. I'm going to get that better erased. So I'm 54 years old today. 54 turns around the sun. 54, a lot of shit has happened in 54 years, but I think everybody that gets older says, well, I've seen a lot of stuff. Yeah, you have. Because that's the nature of life. That's how life works. You've seen a lot of shit. We all have at this point. Okay, I think my rind part might be a little thick. So here. See, I'm doing this once I do this 5 times, by the time I draw my 5th line, I'm going to be good at this stuff. What I should do is take a piece of tracing paper after I get this done and trace it, and then just do a transfer onto the other sheets of paper, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah. So I'll get it drawn once, and then I will not sit here and do this and bore everybody over and over again. So last night, Art Prof had one of their artist hangouts, and I just love those where everybody just sits and works on a piece of art and kind of chit chats about stuff, and people in the chat, you know, ask questions or make comments or whatever. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the hanging out, like hanging out without actually having to be present in the room with the other person. Not that I'm antisocial. I mean, COVID's still going on. As long as we live in a nation of buffoons who won't take a damn vaccine to prevent death and suffering, we're going to have this disease with us, so we may as well. We're in for the long haul, y'all. Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try this shape. There's a shape in the middle. I'm wondering if I do that middle shape, so it goes like that. Is that about where it is? It goes down a little bit further now. Okay, so there. That one goes up this one and this one. Then it's that one. No, this is where I'm wrong. Okay, so it's that further. That. I'm having so much trouble with this. Why am I having so much trouble with this? Well, this is frustrating. It's a good thing there's nobody watching. You're watching. It says that there's nobody watching it at all. But you're watching, huh? If anybody else is out there watching, chat, type in the chat. Because it says that nobody is watching at all. Like, no one. 0 people. Okay, I'm gonna just figure this out. Okay, think about this. This line wedge presents a mathematics problem to me. How do I fit 12 wedges into this circle? I'm just gonna start thinking of it like a wheel. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 is 4. No, that's not right. That is not right. See, this I have such a hard time with this kind of spatial relationship. One. That's way too. Okay, that's what the problem is. I'm trying to go way down here with it. That's way up here. 1. No, this is not right. I should have just traced it. Would have made my life easier. Oh, I may have one traced. Do I have one of these? Sometimes I'll take some things I want to draw and just do some traces of them just to get them done. Well, but I feel like I would like to accomplish getting this done right. I just don't know if that's going to happen. 1 second, I look through all these. Aha! This is going to work so much better. This is going to take the stress off me. Now I know why I was having such stage fright before I started my streams, because I knew I was going to be doing this. Okay. Let's place this right down here. Okay. So now this will be easy. This won't take but a few moments here. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a lime. It's not meant to be all totally perfect. Hope I didn't just mess that up. Okay. This is the shadow. The secondary shadow I'm not going to draw on because that'll leave too dark of a line. So I remember this shadow here. And then we just got all these little guys here to do. I have to put my hand down to hold it down so it goes on even. So excuse me for having my old lady hands in front of the camera, blocking everything. I should probably show more than the top of my head. So all kinds of crazy stuff's going on in the world. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it yet. If anybody is watching this, if you've seen a show on YouTube, it comes on in the afternoons, but you can watch it. You can watch it anytime when you go to their channel. It's called Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. And it's kind of a news program. Well, it's a news program, but it's different. Like, they'll cover some politics. Like, you know, when somebody does or says something really stupid or really, you know, comes out against the American people or anything like that, you know, Dr. Ritchie will cover it. But generally speaking, what Dr. Ritchie does is he shines a spotlight on all the bad stuff that is happening to marginalized people in our society, just going about their day-to-day lives, namely interactions with cops and Karens. And it's absolutely shocking how much police brutality goes on in this country. It's absolutely shocking. If you are black, I would be terrified to be driving. I would be terrified. It's I can't believe how widespread it is, and they do horrible things to people who don't deserve it. You know, that, you know, pull up on somebody for not using their blinker and you pull a gun on them. Like, what? Why was a gun involved? You know, like, oh, it's our cops are out of control. And I mean, there was a time there when crime was really bad, like in the 1970s, and we were giving people slaps on the wrist. But we swung the pendulum too far over to the other side, to where we started incarcerating everybody and giving everybody heavy sentences, and that doesn't work either. But so every day on his show, there's at least one videotaping. And don't these police officers know they all have body cameras and everybody in the community has a camera on them? They don't care. They'll still do horrible, brutal things to people, knowing that the camera's rolling. And then just lie. So we've got a real serious problem that needs to be addressed. And I'm not going to say the words defund the police, because that's triggering to people. I'm going to say we need to reimagine policing and reallocate the way we distribute funding and who gets what job. And instead of sending a guy with a gun to stop you and write you a ticket for speeding, that needs to be a different division of the police. There's no reason for them to be walking up on you with their sunglasses on, all like their gun, you know, you were speeding. Good Lord, I was just speeding. You know, that doesn't need to be a cop doing that. You know, mental health breakdowns. Sure, have, you know, some kind of professional there that might be armed, or at the very least prepared to physically interact with somebody, maybe a couple of people like that, like they have in mental hospitals. But you don't take cops with guns and tasers to go deal with a mentally ill person. You take social workers and doctors and things like that. So, and you know, I mean, it's largely the black community in America that's getting abused, but other marginalized people are too. People, you know, other people of color, the mentally ill. I think after black people, probably the mentally ill is the most abused by cops. So, yeah, and then if you break it down even further, beyond race and beyond disability, there's the fact that there are a lot of poor people, although wealthy black people get harassed by cops too. So that's a pure race thing. But if you're poor, they're really interested in bashing your skull in. And they'll do it to an old lady, frail old lady, 80 pounds. They'll break her shoulder and break her arm and not give a shit. Doesn't matter if you're a... It doesn't matter if you're a young man who knows that his brakes don't work right, so his truck's going to roll back. So you get out of your car when you get stopped by the cops to put something behind the wheel, and you get shot by the cop for having something in your hand. You know, and that was a white kid. But mostly it happens to people of color, and mostly it happens to African American people. And it's disgraceful. So look at this. Success at last. I have a lime drawn on this paper. I don't know what was going on with me with that drawing. That was weird. Like, of all the times to get artist block, like, to have it happen while I'm live streaming. Yikes. Anyways, oh, there's it says I have 2 viewers. Whoever is viewing, whoever's watching, hello. I'll even chat, and I'll even type in the chat. Hello, people. Nobody's singing the happy birthday song, or I'll get a copyright strike. I probably would too. All right. Oops. I paused my own video. Okay. All right, so I've got this. You can really see it. I've got it drawn down in here. It looks simple, doesn't it? Those wedges were messing me up. So the next thing I'm going to do, now after I took all the time to draw that on there, is I'm going to erase most of it. Because I'll be able to see it underneath lightly. There's a fingerprint right there, too. I should go wash my hands before I go any further with this. Now that I've done the messy graphite part. That would mean getting up and leaving you guys here all by yourselves. You might be scared. Might be scared without Gigi Phyllis. Gigi. That's what my grandkids call me, is Gigi. I used to have purple hair, and so the Gigi stood for Granny Grape. I don't get to see them very often. We live basically in the same town, but I don't have a car, and they live on the other side. Like, I live in South Austin. If you know anything about Austin, I live in South Austin. They live in Leander. So it's not like I can hop on a bus and go visit the grandkids. That's just not a thing. And, you know, they've got their own life. They don't think to come visit old mom. I should make her feel guilty if my daughter would feel guilty about it, but I don't know if she would feel guilty. It's like, whatever, mother. That kind of thing doesn't work in our family. My mom took her 2 little dogs to get groomed at the groomer the other day, and the smallest one, Maxine, my mom had left her there. She went to go run some errands, and like 10 minutes into her running her errands, she gets a phone call. You have to come get this little dog. It keeps biting me. So my mom's dog kept biting the groomer. Yeah, she weighs like a few ounces. I mean, she's literally like this big. She's tiny. Little bitty thing. And she's savaged that lady and had that lady scared. It's pretty funny. I can correct some of the mistakes that I've seen in this drawing. Well, the colored pencil. See, I'm getting obsessed with it again. Stop it. Stop freaking out. You've got something on here. Just do the colored pencil part. That's what we're here for. Is the colored pencil part. Nobody gives a shit about the graphite drawing. That's not the fun part. Ooh, and y'all get to see all the ugly stages and everything. Although this is just a lime wedge, there's not going to be really any ugly stage in this. It's very simple, which is why I chose to do this. I chose a very simple image so I could do it 4 times. I have to not press down so hard next time I do this. I used too much force and it made it really dark. Really surprised. I'll have to get some of that graphite paper, because right now what I do is I use tracing paper and I trace over my drawing, and then I trace over it, and then or trace the object I want to trace if I'm tracing something, if I'm not doing it myself. Like sometimes I draw the whole image from pencil sketch onto finished product, and sometimes I'll trace something and just work on the rendering part. So I take the tracing paper, trace whatever it is, whether it's a drawing or the image or whatever, and then I go over the back of it with this. I've got this stick of graphite, but it really works, as you can see. It's all of this is time consuming. There's nothing in my life that isn't time consuming, but you know, that is actually at this age and stage in my life, that's really all I have right now is just time. I don't really have much else. I don't have money. I've got time, so you know, my friend John was like, how can you do those like backgrounds with colored pencils? You're using a tiny little pencil to do this big area. It's got to be tedious, and it's really not. It is actually soothing to sit here and put layer upon layer of colored pencil on a paper. It feels good. It's calming. It's my happy place. Alright, so we just about got this done. This is one of the best things ever. It's a Tombow Mono eraser, Mono Zero eraser. It's a little teeny tiny eraser. It's the best. Just get right in there and get little areas. I really like to use it when I'm doing a graphite drawing to lift out highlights or whatever. Okay, I think that's enough of the graphite gone to where it's not going to bleed through the colored pencil. Get all smeared and ugly looking. No, that's not good right here. Okay. Alright, so first up are these Crayola color pencils. These are $4. I got them at Dollar General. They're 24 pack for $4. I think that the 120 pack is around 20 bucks. It's really, really affordable. First impressions when I got these is that, you know, they're really, really good for beginners, like for sure. Like if you want to learn how to do colored pencil art and you're a beginner, just grab a packet of Crayolas, because they do blend some and they'll teach you the basic techniques. But it's all about the binder in with the pigments, because the wax and or oil, but it's probably wax that they use in the Crayola colored pencils to bind the pigment is extremely hard. Like imagine like a soy candle. It's got that soft wax. You could like ply it with your fingers and roll it into a ball or whatever. But like a cheap candle that you might pick up at the dollar store, the candle wax is really hard. It's because it's a cheap candle and it's cheaper wax, and that's I've got pencil all over my hands. That cheaper wax is much harder than the better quality waxes. So that's generally what the deal is. Why your cheaper colored pencils are just harder and not as soft and smushy to blend. Okay. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I like to usually start with the background or whatever's around it. So I'm going to put the shadow in first. Now, I don't know if you can see. You can't really see on the little tiny picture. Let me make it big real quick. Maybe I can let you see what I see. In the shadow down underneath the lime, do you notice that there's some yellow in that? Like it's not just a gray shadow. There's some color in it. There's a little bit hint of yellow in there. Maybe even a little hint of orange in there. So I'm going to make that small again. Whoops. No, come back. No. Oh no. Okay. So small. There we go. I did it. Yay. Technology. Hey, I'm not a boomer though. I'm a solid Gen Xer. Not that that's much better. Okay, so let's start the shadow. So first thing I'm going to do, I am going to start off with a little layer of gray. So we'll start off, this is just standard gray. Crayola doesn't put any numbers on their color pencils. This is just says gray. So we'll take it in here. I'm going to start off really light. Like I said, this cheap poster board paper is it'll buckle and tear pretty easily underneath the colored pencils. So I have to be gentle with it, but especially with these cheaper colored pencils. I know I'm not supposed to call them cheap. I'm supposed to call them inexpensive or budget friendly. But they're cheap. I mean, that's the appeal to them. It's like you don't have to invest in a $300 box of Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils to get started with art. You can go to Walmart or Dollar General or whatever and grab some Crayola products and start making art. It's all about learning what you're doing as you go along. You'll learn techniques. You'll develop your own techniques. You have to experiment, though. Like I would never have imagined I would be somebody have been a colored pencil artist. Like colored pencils of all things. I'd always thought of colored pencils as being those kind of dull colored pencils you use on maps in like geography class, or maybe in science class, when if you have to like draw a human cell and you need the colors of the colored pencils for the cell, like that's what I always associated colored pencils with before I found the YouTube tutorials. Like I found the drawing tutorial first and started drawing in just pencil and graphite, and then it recommended to me this artist named Kirsty Partridge, and she's a colored pencil artist among other things. And I looked at one of her tutorials and just fell in love with the way it looked. Although, to be honest, now that was like a year ago almost, or around a year ago. At this point, this is I don't know, am I allowed to say this? This is going to sound vain. I kind of like the way my colored pencil drawings look better than hers. Hers are very, they're not opaque. I mean, you don't really see the grain of the paper, but they're not solid like the way I like mine to look. So honestly, I like mine better. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to like your own artwork better than somebody else's? Is that allowed? Is that a thing? Sounds kind of vain, I suppose. There's nothing about colored pencil art that is that you can do quickly. If you're going to be a colored pencil artist, you're going to have a lot of patience, because it takes hours to do this stuff. I mean, hours. And like this image here, now I'm going to do 5 of them, and I picked something very simple. It's still going to take me hours. I'm going to be here live streaming for several hours. Maybe other people will find me and watch too. But at some point I'll take a break, go smoke a cigarette. I don't want to smoke on camera. That's not... I want to show that off. That's not a habit I'm proud of, so I don't want to show it off. I'll have to have a bio break too at some point. Oh my goodness, almost done with the gray part of the shadow. And I think this gray right here actually matches the reference photo pretty nicely as far as the shadow goes. The tone of the gray looks about right. It could use a tiny bit more blue, but I've got that. That's why I have a blue. I'm sure it's like, why is there a blue in this drawing of a lime? Oh, that's for the shadow. See some spots I miss. Everyone, like I said, I like my colored pencil to be very opaque. There's not a lot of pigment color payoff on these colored pencils. Like I said, it seems like there's more hard binder than there is pigment. So like this color is the gray is kind of weak. It's not a pow of pigment like I'm used to with a little bit more expensive colored pencils. But I'm not hating the experience. I'm not hating this. They feel fine laying down on the page. So the next thing I'll do is add a little layer of blue over the top of that. I don't know if the picture was big enough when I made it big for you to see that there's, you know, there's colors in it. There's a little bit of blue. Like I pointed out that there's a little yellow, but there's definitely some blue in here. And also around the outside of the shadow, there's some blue that I'll add in with this blue pencil. If you hold your pencils way back towards the back like this, you get a lighter touch. You're not pressing down so hard. And it's really good for going over like the top of something if you want to alter like the tone or the color of something, and you go over the top of it with a different pencil. You want to, you know, do it lightly. You don't want to press down hard, or you'll just dig up the pigment underneath of it. Because remember, you're putting a layer of wax down on paper, so it's easy to dig that wax back up inadvertently. And the first day I got this cheap paper, first thing I did was learn how to use this paper because I tore it immediately. So I had to figure out how to work with the pencils to not make the paper tear. If you try to use colored pencils, or at least the way I use them, I'm sure for sketching it would be fine. If you're doing something real, what do they call it, painterly, sketchy, you know, gesture drawing or something, or, you know, and you're just using colored pencils for the color, and it's, you know, I just totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying, Brad? Do you remember?
You were saying when you first started using.
Oh yeah, when I first started using colored pencils, I don't remember what I was going to say. This talking thing, it's for the birds. Plus, I may have visited a certain smoking implement before I did my stream. That may be a possibility, which is why I'm it is my birthday, and I don't drink, and you know, so I may have done other things, but probably not. I did them in Minecraft. I only do illegal things in Minecraft. Okay, so I added a little bit of that blue. I don't know if you were able to tell, but it changed the tone of that gray from a little bit more of a warm gray to a little bit cooler, and you can see the blue. Now, underneath that shadow, there's also, it's almost like a blue ring, like this. Now this I'll leave light and won't burnish in, or because it's just like basically kind of the shadow, you know, it doesn't need to be dark in any way, shape, or form. Once again, I'm doing a light touch with this. I can't wait to get my hands on the good paper again so I can go back to going in with a real heavy hand the way I like to. I like to really mash that colored pencil into the paper. Yeah, I still have 2 watchers. Well, other than Brad, whoever you are watching, I appreciate you being here hanging out with me on my birthday. Watching me do boring colored pencil drawings. So yeah, yes, I'm aware that the blue in the picture is not, it's very subtle, and I'm doing this a little bit more than it has on there, but I thought it would look nice, so I'm not going to worry about it. Once the lime is on there, this will make sense. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of pigment in this blue colored pencil here. What color is this? Ooh, light blue. Yeah, not a whole lot of pigment. A lot of wax, not a whole lot of pigment. A lot of hard wax, not a whole lot of pigment. So that's sad. Cheap wax. Yeah, I was really bummed out about those Prismacolors all crumbling apart. Whole box of 12, and they just fell into pieces. It was $15 for a box of 12 Prismacolors. And the thing is, I'm going to have to order more and take chances of them being shitty again. Because I really use a lot of white colored pencil, and Prismacolor white, when they're not manufactured crappy, is the best. The white Prismacolors just do the job. They're really good. The only other thing that works for blending like a white Prismacolor are the Caran d'Ache colorless blenders. Those are really great too. Now, I did an experiment with these Crayola colored pencils here to see how they would react with odorless mineral spirits. It's just it doesn't help. There's just not much pigment in these things. So, but like I said, I don't want to disparage anybody using Crayola. And if you're starting out, you definitely need to start out with a cheap colored pencil. But I mean, unless you have disposable income, you can just buy something like Caran d'Ache to experiment with. That would be nice, wouldn't it? The price went down on them a little bit. I keep an eye on them on Amazon because I would really like to replace mine, and the price went down a little bit, but still $240, whatever. That's a lot of money for pencils. Yeah, people, they don't. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, the colored pencils were like, just crappy school supplies, and nobody ever. It never occurred to me to use them as a fine art material like this. And I did an entire still life in colored pencil the other day. I felt like that was quite an accomplishment. That took about total of working on it probably about 16 or 17 hours. I mean, it took several days because I kept putting it down and not working on it, but total probably about 16, 17 hours. Yeah. Now I'm going to go along this seam here and try to make sure that these are merged together. See where the gray and the blue meet. So definitely don't want any white like paper showing through there. It would not look right because it's supposed to be a shadow. Okay. No, that's not right. That needs to be darker. There we go. I'm noticing a little bit of streakiness with these. Not bad though. A little bit. They're a little streaky. I have to go back over the same area several times to get the pigment to go down into the tooth of the paper. But I mean, I'm not hating this experience. I also have the only color pencil I can think of other than like generic, like Dollar General store brand or something. But the other color pencils that are pretty cheap, like these Crayolas, and work about the same. Maybe they're even a little worse. Are the Crazy Art. But the cool thing about the Crazy Art ones, they don't have a good pigment payoff, but they've got the coolest colors and great color names, but just the most amazingly beautiful colors. It's just a darn shame that there's not enough pigment in there to give you a payout when you use them. But they're also very inexpensive. But once again, if I were getting started, something like that would be fine because you're just learning. Although I guess there's something to be said for if you learn on the good materials, you learn how to use them well. I don't know. Now I'm torn. Maybe it would be good to start off on with Prismacolors. I think that's what I started with was Prismacolors. I started off as a coloring book colorist, and then discovered the art stuff. I mean, I did art when I was young, but not like this. Okay, I still swear I see just a little bit of orange or yellow right here. Just right here. I swear that's what I'm seeing. Oh no. My electricity just flashed. Am I still broadcasting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my electricity just flashed on and off. It's not raining or anything. It's clear out there. That's weird. That's something I do not want to deal with tonight or any other night, for that matter. I don't want to deal with electricity problems. Okay, there. Now it has that slight cast of orange that I can see down at the bottom of that shadow. So I'm going to go back and try to fill in some of these little gaps. Like I said, it's a little streaky, but I don't want paper to be peeking through at me. I want to hide the paper. Okay. I think that's pretty good. You can only do so much. At some point, you got to stop. Like the way that looks. There, that's better. Okay. Oh. All right. So there's the shadow. I'm not going to put any other color in the background. I'm just going to leave it white paper for time reasons. So do I want to start with the outer edge or the inside? I think I'll start on the inside. Doesn't really matter. I don't know. They you know, a lot of these art classes and stuff, they give you these hard and fast rules like, you should do this first and you should do everything at the same time, and it's like, I don't know. However you have to do it to get your picture made, just do it. Just do it your way. I mean, there's really not a right and wrong. I mean, if you're in college, there's a right and wrong way to do something for art. But if you're just producing art on your own in your living room, there's no right or wrong way to do this stuff. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to take a yellow pencil. Okay, yeah, I'm going to, why is that there? Okay, I'm going to take the yellow pencil. Now these are all too wide, these pieces in the middle, so I'm going to have to make them all a little bit. See, you can see that line through the pencil of graphite, even though I erased it, it's still there. That's too bad. Oh well. It won't look bad by the time the whole drawing's done. So now I'm going to fill in these little guys. I'm going to try to go faster here. Fill in these little guys first. Yeah, that sucks. Oh well. Oh, I could have music on, although it would have to be something not that wouldn't get me a copyright strike, like Cat Scientist, or probably shouldn't listen to Hug. They'd be a little inappropriate for a lot of people who might drop by here. Yeah. So I'll fill in each one of these little wedges with the yellow. This is once again, everything with colored pencils is time consuming. There's no way to do this fast. You're using a little tiny point to lay down a bunch of color. It can only do what it can do. And it's weird because I don't know how I want it to look because I don't visualize things, but I know what techniques I want to follow and what kind of results I'll probably get from them, if that makes sense. This is a really bright yellow. I'm gonna have to go back over it with white. Oh, the only other thing I'm going to use on these pictures of limes here that I'm doing with these different color pencils is some white gel pen, Uniball Signo gel pen. That way I can add in the little juicy white highlights that make it look like it's, a shiny, juicy lime. And I'll use one of those on each one. Now, those are not archival. Really, if you're selling work, you probably shouldn't use those. You can get this white stuff that you paint on to do your highlights and stuff on colored pencil art that is archival. It's a little expensive and not as easy to get. But if you're just doing art, once again, it just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing art for yourself, Yeah, use a Uniball Signo white gel pen to do your highlights. It works great. A lot of other people prefer the Sakura white gel pens. I'm not as much of a big fan of them. I think that the Sakura pens are a little too delicate. Like you can mess them up really easy and they just stop working. But the Uniball Signos seem to be really great. So that's what I use, and that's what I'll put on the final details of this drawing with white gel pen. So Brad, what do you know?
What do I know? I know that it's your birthday,
Woo!
and you're doing what you love best.
Art? Annoying my boyfriend?
You don't annoy me. Oh, my back itches.
Well, damn, then I better try harder then.
What's that?
I don't annoy you. I'm not trying hard enough.
I'm pretty mellow. It takes a lot to
Depends on your mood.
some snippy.
We're good at snipping at each other, snipping and sniping.
You're good. I want to.
No, it's really funny. My mom is like, you and Brad fight all the time. It's like, that's what they do. my mom and Bill are always bickering and bitching at each other. Mom and stepdad. Always griping and complaining about something at each other. It's that thing where you're so comfortable with someone, you know that, just being your regular bitchy self isn't going to drive this person away. Oh no, the yellow is showing up as black on the screen. How do I fix that? Wonder how. Let me look at my broadcasting software here and see if there's a way I can fix that. Let me see. What would fix that? Settings. That doesn't do anything. Huh. Picture. Right. Color. Color might be where I need this. Oh, it's just that one picture. Durr, okay. This is the one I want to work on. This one. The USB camera. Okay. What's that? Whoops. Don't want to do that. Okay. No, that's not helping either. Ah, that doesn't help either. Ah. Reset everything. Okay. There's all the different colors. I saw a little green peeking through right there. There's some green that makes everything else blue. Yeah, there's really nothing I don't think I can do about the, I didn't know yellow would do that. I knew green would, but I didn't know yellow was going to have that problem too. It's,
Color.
yeah, it's showing, like, green screen on video.
think.
Chroma?
Yes.
Chroma key.
Probably adjust that yourself.
Oh, I fixed it.
There you go.
Holy cow. Oh, wow. Woo, yay, go me. Now, it looks more green than it actually is, though. That's weird. It looks like... it's yellow. That's a little bit more close to what it actually looks like for me seeing it. All right. I think I fixed that. That's much better. Oh, but now look at my hands. They look like they've got a disease. Oh my God, look at the pixels. That's crazy. I look like a monster. Okay, that's not going to work. So either I'm going to be sparkling or the paper's going to be sparkling. It would almost probably be more disconcerting to people to have my hands sparkle than it would be to have the...
Sparkling at the frequency of blue light.
Huh. Let me see. If I change the... Whoa, that's even worse. Whoa, that's even worse. No. That's as good as it's going to be. But somebody out there probably knows how to fix this problem. It's not me.
It's like Twilight Zone.
Oh, I think I fixed it again. You can see all the stuff on it. I think I fixed it. I think I got it by messing with the colors. Woohoo! How do you like them apples? So, old ladies can learn new things. Alright, so... this yellow has got a lot of pigment. This yellow is really bright. I'm actually pretty impressed with this yellow. It's, still feels hard, and it's not soft and buttery like I like them to be, but it definitely has a good color payout, so that's cool. Yeah, that first time I saw that Kirsty Partridge art girl's colored pencil art, I was just like, you could do that with colored pencils? Oh my gosh. And I just had to learn how to do it. First thing I ever did was a cupcake. It was one of her tutorials. It was a cupcake. And it was a couple hours long tutorial, and I sat here and did the whole thing. And my cupcake turned out alright. I mean, it wasn't the greatest cupcake in the world, but it wasn't terrible or anything. It was definitely nice looking, you know, and I really enjoyed making it and realized, hey, I can learn how to do this, and this can be something I can be proud of, you know. I'm not used to being to doing things or having things that I'm proud of. That's just not a feeling I'm familiar with, is being proud of myself. So it's weird when people tell me, oh, your art looks so good or whatever. Like, part of me is like, I know, I'm so happy. And part of me is like, no, it doesn't. Not really. It's that imposter syndrome. I'm always going to have that. Like, who am I to think I could make money on art? Well, I made some money on some art last month. It's just the truth. I went from making zero money on art to making a little bit of money on art now and then. So that's a step forward. What am I going to do after I stream? Probably more art. Probably work on that dude, that drawing of that dude. I may have to split this color demo in half and do half the pencils tonight, like do the cheap pencils tonight and the expensive pencils next week, or maybe I'll live stream again tomorrow night. I enjoy live streaming. I enjoy just sitting here chatting into the ether. I wish I had better equipment. I wish I had a better camera with a boom arm to where I can, you know, have the shot coming from above where you could really see what I was doing, and a decent camera that would show the details. And I would like to have that. And a microphone, a good microphone. My audio is not great. I mean, it's not the worst in the world. I've heard people's videos that are a lot worse than mine even, but, you know, I'd like to have a microphone and a light box to do better lighting, and yeah, there's stuff I'd like to do so I could make better videos. I know what kind of videos I want to make, I just don't have the equipment to do it. I need to sharpen this pencil. Okay, almost done filling in these yellow parts here. The pulpy parts. Pulpy. I didn't even have a birthday cake today. No cake for me. I need cake. Next time I have some money, I'll buy myself a piece of cake at H-E-B. Now you can buy individual slices of cake. I'll go buy a piece of cake. I deserve cake on my birthday. I could have ice cream. They've got Bluebell 2 for $5 for pints over at the convenience store near here. So I suppose ice cream is always an alternative. Okay, so I almost have these yellow guys done. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to draw the most masterfully drawn lime. I'm really just trying these pencils out. This is the main thing. And then I want to show you how they all look when I get them, each one done, how they look different. But I'm gonna try not to do, to do anything to mess up the results, like, do a different technique with the cheaper pencils or anything. No, I'm gonna treat them equally, all the materials equally, so I get a good idea of what happens, what the end result looks like. Yeah, if I only had access to Crayola colored pencils, I would still be happy. I would still do art. They're not the most satisfying thing to use, but that's only because I've used really nice ones. But I would be happy with this. This would be fine. I'm just like sitting in my apartment making art for myself, not trying to sell it or anything. There's no reason not to use $4 color pencils. Although I've heard the other argument that if you're learning something, you should get the good materials. That way, you learn how to. You start right off learning how to use the best stuff and how it works, and you master that, and like that's what. So you don't spend your time mastering like, something else and not the best one or whatever. I don't know. I've heard both trains of thought, both schools of thought. And so many yellow wedges. I guess they would be called segments, not wedges. They're not wedges until they're cut into that shape. These little things are segments. I haven't had a squeeze of lime in something in a long time. Limes are good. I like key lime pie. It's a little bitter, but I like it.
That's why it's What?
Yeah, they are. They're little bitty things. There were a lot of lime trees that grew all over, like the Air Force Base and stuff in Panama. Lots of citrus trees, limes, and really crappy oranges that tasted terrible.
Yeah, most orange tree. It's kind of like an apple because like, if you plant an apple seed, chances are it's not going to grow.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the wild oranges just don't seem to taste as good as the cultivated ones, which makes sense because they're cultivated for their flavor and their juiciness. One of the most refreshing things I've ever had in my life was when we were in Panama and I was in Girl Scouts and we did this 2-mile hike through the jungle, and we came out of the jungle at the beach, and the QE2 was docked out in the water, and our Girl Scout troop leader handed us each an orange and a peppermint stick. And we took a knife and cut a hole into the orange and then stuck the peppermint stick in there and then sucked on the peppermint stick, and it would bring the juice from the orange up into the peppermint stick and melt it into a straw. And then so you would think orange juice and peppermint, gross, like when you brush your teeth or whatever, but no, it was very refreshing.
Down in Honduras, the sweet cutters would cut an orange in half and pick it with a huge knife and then sprinkle like sea salt and
Chili.
herbs and stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they like fruit with chili in Central America. It's pretty tasty. I like that chamoy stuff. That stuff is yummy. Chamoy. Chamoy.
Is that like a ShamWow?
Yes. It's a ShamWow for your butt. All right, so I've got the little wedges in, done. Okay, nice, nice. It's not bad. There's some places in there where it's a little patchy. It's not, it's not the end of the world or anything. All right, so we've got just the basic yellow laid down. Now we need to start adding a little bit of the orange. And it's darker at the top and the top kind of left than it is at the bottom right. So, okay, so we'll start adding some orange in here. This one seems to have a lot of it. Got to remember not to lean down. I get to do an art and I realize my posture is just like terrible. So it comes down to about right here. Okay. Doing little circular motions to kind of give it a little impression like there's a little texture to it. Going in little bitty circles. Once again, also holding my pencil out pretty far, but I'm putting a little bit more pressure on it. Oh, look at that. It's a little bit of the pigment right there. Sometimes these inexpensive colored pencils will do that to you. Like, you'll hit a patch in the wax where there's a concentrated bit of the color of the pigment, and all of a sudden you got a streak on your paper. It's like, oh man, really? Okay. Hi, kitten. Maggie's here to say hello. Meow. Meow. What's up, Mags? What's up, kitten cat? Really? You don't say. Okay. It's pretty dark right here. According to all the like little art classes online and stuff that I've been taking, the most important thing is to get your values right, your contrast between light and dark, and really color. Like, you could make anything any color you want, and as long as you've got that value contrast right, you've got the lights and darks correct, the color doesn't really matter. Like, it could be anything. It could be any color. I could be using any color to do this lime, and yeah. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit less of the dark over here. Going down in that way. Okay. A bit down here. Excuse my squinting. I'm looking at the reference photo with my eyes squinted where I can see where all that dark orange or darker, it's really a darker yellow, but if I just tried to use a darker yellow, it wouldn't show up. I'm trying to see where it goes. So all the way down this side, pretty much. Meow, kitty. You won't let me pick you up, or I pick you up and show you off on the camera so everybody can see my baby. Gandalf would let me do it. Why won't you? This is supposed to be a long-wearing lipstick, and it's like pilling up. It's not supposed to. It's annoying. Alright, so a little bit over here, just a little bit. This one has somewhat less, but still a lot. What do you think about when you're doing art, Brad?
A little bit of whatever's going on in my life, a little bit about where I want the art to go that I'm working on, a little bit about where I play my guitar, ride a bike, stuff like that. Nothing too deep. If you start thinking too deep, you just ruin your groove.
Yeah, I don't know how you would be able to like sit here contemplating some kind of deep thing and be doing art at the same
Well,
time.
I mean, I wander off into that kind of stuff. But
Well, yeah.
I stopped doing art. I'm just sitting there thinking.
Thinking, right?
I mean, the biggest reason I do art is just for self-therapy. So that's what I'm kind of intending to do, is get my mind in a state where I'm unencumbered by like the crap of the day. Yeah.
I really like having something to do with my hands while I'm thinking about other things.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. But like, I'll sit and think about the Alan Watts video I've watched and the things he was talking about.
Right.
Like that story about the farmer and the horse. Maybe it's good news, maybe it's bad news.
Right. A little bit of this orange in here. Now you're thinking, orange and a lime, it'll come together. Or it won't, it'll look like hell. No, it'll come together. I bet this white Crayola pencil is going to annoy me to death. It's probably not going to do anything that I need it to do. Okay. So now let me see how this is looking. It's actually reading is a lot more splotchy than it looks in person. And take care of some of the splotchiness. I'm seeing places where the paper is peeking through. No, paper, I banish you. You're supposed to be under the layers of colored pencil. I like to listen to philosophy type stuff while I'm doing art. I like to listen to like social philosophy and cultural things. And I like stuff that'll teach me a little bit of something, like, you know, like videos that people of color put out that, you know, inform me about things about the world that I had no idea about because I'm not living the experience of a person of color. So I like all that. I like political philosophy and social philosophy and all that stuff. I spent a lot of time thinking about how much better the world would be if I was in charge. Get some of this white where it doesn't show anymore. I didn't realize when I decided to live stream today, well, it is my birthday, so I was going to do that, but Nina Turner has a new show on TYT, on the Young Turks Network, and it's the Nina Turner Power Hour or something like that. It's crazy. It looks good, and so I missed that tonight. I'll have to go back and watch it because I'm a member on YouTube, so I'll have access to the video later. But Nina Turner is just amazing. She's the person I want to be my president. She is definitely my president. What this country needs is a strong, intelligent black woman to lead it for a little while. It's past time for that.
Anti-maskers, they really love those or something.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay, that worked that time. Got a little bit of white left in here. It's weird because you really can't see it when you're looking directly at the paper, but when I look on the screen, I can see it. It's a good thing I have the screen to show me where I need to work more. Okay. And the next one has the same problem. I actually took a little bit of a break from playing doing art and played some video games. I played Minecraft yesterday. That was fun. Every time I play, I forget. I'm like, God, I love this game. This is so much fun. And then I don't play it for a while. It's so fun. I like that it's basically a sandbox. You can just do what you want in the game. You're not like hustling, doing quests all the time, and constantly running from one NPC to another to turn stuff in. And it's definitely it's a sandbox. It's more fun. Stick it in creative mode. Do whatever you want. Fly around. Build the impossible buildings. Okay, I think this is getting better now. Yeah, that's more solidly yellow. Okay. I'm gonna do the white last, so I'll probably do the green next. Just get an idea of what this. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of this green to add some shadowing kind of in here. You know, you're thinking green shadowing. What? Shadows aren't gray. Most shadows are not. I mean, they've got some gray in them, but they're not gray. Shadows have all kinds of color in them, and it depends on the light that's hitting. That's hitting the object too, as to what kind of colors appear in the shadow. Cool light will give you a shadow one way, and warm light will give you a shadow the other way. And no, I don't remember which one's which right now. But yeah, so I'm just adding a little bit of this green just to give some, like, I don't know, a little bit of shading in here, like give it a hint of texture, kind of. So, not all of them need it, and not all of them need much. Like this, like this. A little bit in here. There. Those are kind of dark. Oh well. So, those little juicy little sacks or whatever in the pulp that's so delicious. Kind of a little hint that there's some of that going on in there. As you can see, I'm just like kind of randomly scribbling a little bit, like just to put some hints of that there's something going on other than just solid yellow. All right. Okay. Yeah, the white will be, because I'll be doing the white over most of it, that'll be last. Right now we're going to start on this green. I'm going to do first layer, just a ring around it. I'm going to give it a little bit of texture too on there, a little bumpiness. You know, limes are just a little bit bumpy. Definitely don't want this to be a perfect circle. I gave myself a real limited palette, so I have to figure out other ways to darken up some of this green. I only allowed myself the 4 pencils, the white and the gray. I suppose the real challenge would be to use such a limited palette and do something like a portrait. That would be... I don't know, when you're painting, you want more of a limited palette, and you want to mix all your colors. But when you're doing colored pencil art, you generally want a wide selection of colors to choose from. It's harder to mix colors with the pencils, and you're doing so many layers and everything that you just kind of want to be able to grab the color you want. And What else have I done lately? I watched the Draftsman podcast about critiques, self-critiques and critiquing. I would not have been able to handle too much critiquing when I was young. I was very thin-skinned. Now I can handle it, although, like on Art Prof, there's a section where you can post art and have people critique it, other people critique it for you. And generally the feedback I get is it needs more value contrast. So that's pretty much all artists. Like, that's probably the biggest critique you're going to get. But then I had this one guy tell me, his critique was, you shouldn't be doing realism. You should be making it look more painterly. Well, homie, that's subjective. That's a style choice. That's the kind of thing you're not supposed to critique. You critique, you know, contrast and composition and things that can be measured, you know, and like that you can actually, but just because you don't like somebody's style doesn't mean that's a valid critique. Not liking someone's style is not a critique of them. That's just you expressing your opinion then. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit more like a lime now. I'm not going to take a whole lot longer on this because I got to get to the other ones. Probably do 2 tonight and 3 next time. We'll do the 2 cheapest colored pencils that I own first. Then we'll get into the better ones. Well, maybe I should do 3 tonight though, because I want just a little bit of... I'll make sure I don't put too deep of a layer of green on here. It won't look right. This has got to be kind of bumpy, not totally all even and right. Don't want it to look perfect. That would look real weird. I'm almost done with my first hour.
Almost.
Then I'll probably take a break, duck out for a cigarette. Then I'll do my second drawing and then I'll be done for tonight. Maybe I'll live stream again tomorrow night. I enjoy live streaming, like I said. I just sit here and do art anyways. And the only reason I don't talk to myself is because I don't want to annoy Brad. So I can sit here and chat into the computer all night. I mean, I could do this every day. It would be fine. The only part about it I don't like is having to put all the makeup on. I've just grown out of it, I guess. I don't know. Like, I used to love putting on makeup. Okay, so there's... Now I'm going to start coming out with an even lighter touch and put a much lighter ring around it so it's fading. And then I'll have to go back and perfect it. So there'll be pale spots and darker spots that I'll need to even out. But let's take this out here. Who knew 5 years ago that I'd be sitting here doing art all the time and getting paid for some of it. And having people telling me I'm doing a good job, which is so weird. I'm not used to that. I would never have thunk it. I thought I had given up art forever when I was young, and that was just the thing. Just how it was. Now there is going to need to be a darker layer on the outside. Maybe blue, orange, maybe. Wish these people would start wearing their masks and get their vaccine so we can go back to normal, because I'd like to have Eeyore's birthday party again, please. I'd like to go to that again before I die.
Yeah, there's not much.
I miss Eeyore's. I miss going to see live day shows at South by Southwest. Free live day shows. Those were always good. Sometimes I do just sit here in the silence and just do art and let it be quiet, and I kind of enjoy it. Sometimes silence is good for me. Sometimes listening to things is stressful. And I just don't want to hear anything. I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to deal with anything. I just want quiet. I just want the sound of my pencil scraping across the paper. It's all I want. Okay. Right, almost done with the shading part. Okay. Let's see, let me look at it on the screen. Not bad. Okay, now, wait, I want to make the outer edge of the lime a little darker. Just the very outer edge. Kind of make the line bumpy. I don't want it to look like I just drew a line. I want it to. So yeah, these are not the easiest pencils in the world to work with, but they're not bad. I don't think this is turning out terrible. You know, it is what it is. No, I don't think it looks bad at all. It's not as opaque, it's not as pigmented. It's not going to be as nicely blended. But it works, and it's definitely a good option for somebody who doesn't have much money but has the urge to do art. I would definitely say go for it. Okay. Now then, let's try this white. Wait. Where's my picture of my... A little bit of this orange. A little bit of that gray. So I'm first going to... No, I'm going to get a little bit of in here. I don't need the gray. Okay. Now a little bit, just a little bit right in there. Okay. So now I'm going to take this white colored pencil. I'm going to do these spokes here. And I'm going to go over. It does not blend. This white colored pencil kind of smears the pencil underneath around a little bit, but it does not blend it. Yeah, there's not a lot of blending going on here. Let's see if I can get anything done with the green. That's blending a little bit. Yeah, these are not the greatest white colored pencils in the world. Yeah, I wasn't minding the color so much, and that gray was okay. It was kind of pale, but it was okay. But I'm insulted by I'm offended by this white colored pencil right here. I feel personally offended by this. Yeah, this is not doing anything. It's not blending like it should at all. No. Sure isn't. Okay, I'm going to take a quick bio break and be right back. Then we'll work on our next lemon line. Entertain people, Brad.
I would be very non-entertaining compared to you.
Just walk to the bathroom.
I'm.
That's fine.
That's fine. It would be funny, except I don't have my hair brushed.
You don't have what?
My hair brushed.
Oh.
To be nice. It's just
Yeah,
like
you got that wild, that nutty professor thing going on.
that wild man thing going on.
Yeah, you got that crazy professor hair.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this white colored pencil right here can bite me. This white colored pencil blows. This is the worst. This is just awful. Horrid. It doesn't even look like it's doing anything. I guess it's smearing it around a little bit, but not much. So they're not great for blending. Wow, it's not doing really anything. It's not going to blend that. There's no point in going over this. Yeah, there's nothing there. No point in going over the whole thing with it. It'd be a waste of time. Okay, now I'm going to grab my white gel pen and I'm going to put in some highlights, and then the Crayola colored pencil line will be done. And let's see what we got here. First of all, I need to get it going. Okay. Just adding a little white glowy parts, white shiny parts. Do this
He's
mainly
not going to check out his ships that he's building for next season.
Yeah. I'm not really following the exact pattern of highlights on the reference. I'm kind of just adding them where they look, I think they would look good. But basically this step is just to kind of give it a juicy look, a shiny. Just using little kind of random little squiggly line motions. It's making a difference already. And I think it's more in the center and this side here, and then it's, uh-oh. Now another ambulance coming here. Like every day there's an ambulance here. Sad. These just have them up here. Excuse me. Hope everybody's okay. I don't know why I'm having a coughing fit all of a sudden. Weird. I have that other commission I need to do, but I'm out of the good paper. I have to order some of the heavy Strathmore mixed media paper. Next time I have some money. Almost done with this guy. Okay. Excuse me. I don't know where this is coming from. Alright, so that is a lime that is done in colored pencil, Crayola colored pencil. There's no real good way for me to show this to you. Anyways, trying to get in there. This is Crayola colored pencils. They're alright for like if you're a beginner, if you're just getting started out, yeah, definitely get yourself some Crayolas and start. So that is them. I don't think it looks too bad. There's not a whole lot of pigment. It's pretty lacking in pigments and really won't layer. But for a beginner, they're great. They can teach you the beginning stages of learning how to do colored pencil art. No problem with that. If you do colored pencil art and you do it just for you, you aren't selling it, get yourself one of these Uniball Signos. They are great. Look at all that white detail. Yeah, it just makes the difference. It makes it look wet. So I'm going to put my Crayola pencils away now and probably won't use them too much. These will be fine for... I've got a whole box of really inexpensive store brand colored pencils that I save for if the grandkids ever come over to visit me and they want to color. Also, I've got a gazillion coloring books. I still enjoy coloring. Sometimes it's more fun than doing art because it's not as stressful. Look at my phone real quick, see if anybody chatted. It's still Brad. Brad's chatting. Of course, he's sitting in the room with me. All right, so we finished the Crayola crayons line. Crayola pencils line. Now let's go for next price up are, these are a combination of Sou Color, S-O-U color, and Shuttle Art. They're basically the same pencils. Same colors, same numbers, very similar barrels, just where the names are printed on it and the font is a little different. But they're essentially the same pencils. Probably made in the same factory in China. I use these a lot because these are my inexpensive set and I do a lot of art and I do most of my artwork with the cheap colored pencils. So they're all tiny. But I've got the same colors I had in the other one. The only difference is this yellow. This yellow's not going to work. It might. It says light orange yellow. I don't have a good yellow. Let me look good real quick. I don't like this color. Some of my other yellows are too orange. Okay, that one. It's too bright, but... Oh, shoot. Damn it. It's too light. There we go. Barely a little bit of this yellow left. Okay, first thing I need to do, I'm going to take a break here in a minute, but I'm going to set this up first. Might take a little short break. Let's go and put it down here. I don't like to put stuff directly in the center. Okay, well, that's not holding that down at all. Let me get another piece of tape. I'm out of Scotch tape. All I have left is this packing tape that I'm using. I don't plan on packing anytime soon. Knock wood. Okay. You have to be careful with this tape because it'll tear the paper too. I usually take it and if your tape is too sticky, take it and stick it to your clothes. It'll pull up a little bit of lint and it'll keep it from tearing your paper. It won't be so sticky. Alright. I used the pink one last time. Use these other ones. There's a blue. Well, 9:16. Oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 2 hours. Holy cow, it took me 2 hours to do one freaking line. Yeah, colored pencils are just not anything you're going to be doing quickly. They're just not. Let me get this drawn on here real fast. It shouldn't take a second. And just from using the crayon pencils, I can tell that there is going to be a huge difference between the shuttle art and Sucolor and those Crayolas. Like the Crayolas are going to be noticeably worse, I'm sure. That's what she said. Now that I've done the Crayola one, I might be able to get this one done faster. I kind of know exactly what I'm going to be doing now. Oh, I forgot not to press so hard. This is going to be really dark again. Dang it. It would have been easier if I could have just sketched each one by hand and made them light, but I could not figure these shapes out. My brain was not having any of this. 12 wedges? How do I fit 12 wedges? Oh no. Whew. Wiping glitter all over the place. Oh. Well, here I sit with my glitter eyebrows and my fancy blue dress. And I'm just going to do art.
On choice.
That's that one done. That one done. Okay, that's it. If I forgot one, I can... I think I forgot that one. I can't tell. Nope. Oh, what the hell happened here? This is not good. Well, that just doesn't look right at all. How did I manage to trace something and still screw it up? Where's my pencil? Oh, where's my mechanical pencil? I'll put it in here. Yes. Okay, that just went sideways right there. I have the theme song for the Young Turks stuck in my head. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to watch that Nina Turner show. Nina Turner Power Hour or whatever it is.
Oh, these flagships for MP faction. Nice.
Okay. That's tilted. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, now the light is coming from this direction. Oh, I just realized that. Okay. Alright. Same thing again. I gotta erase all these lines. And then start in with the colors. That's one nice thing about having a nice limited color palette is I'm not having to think about color choices. That's cool. Plus, like I said, I intentionally picked the most simplified thing I could think of to draw, like with the least colors and the least detail. Like, saw that picture of that lime and was like, perfect. It's got like 3-4 colors in it. Squeak, 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 squeak. Okay. You're furiously typing over there.
Yeah. Oh. I saw that.
Okay. Come on, hurry up. This part is tedious. Tedium. I'll have to watch more of Hunter x Hunter soon. I was getting into that the other day. I watched a bunch of episodes of it. I say watch, I mostly listened to it while I did art. I find it satisfying to listen to a movie while I'm doing other things. I listened to Labyrinth too. I only looked at the screen occasionally to see David Bowie's codpiece. There's the bulge! Watch out, Hoggle, it'll put your eye out. Almost done with this part. Tedium. Alright, come on, hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Let's do this. This is starting to make my hand hurt. And I really want to go out and have a cigarette. Take a little break. I don't want there to just be dead air either. If you didn't know, my son, he's 34, he is a power lifter. He has a channel here on YouTube called Cephist, Sephist, Cephist. And he posts workout videos and other things, other inspirational type things. He's been through he went through a rough time. The last 10 years of his life were pretty rough. Yeah. He got into some addiction issues and had a rough time of it. And he's pulled himself out of that and changed his life around. And he's doing really well, and he's healthy, and seems happy. And he's getting stronger and stronger. Really enjoys this weightlifting thing. It's good to see him, with a hobby he likes. He's freaking strong. It's ridiculous watching him do squats with like 516 pounds. Like, how even do you... How? How is that possible for one human being? Okay. Alright. Now let's see how these feel compared to those. Oh, immediate difference. First of all, pigment. I'm barely touching this pencil onto this paper, and it's just this bright-ass yellow. This is much better. I mean, the leap in quality between the Crayolas and these shuttle art is just, it's amazing. Oh, and I'm starving, too. I didn't eat before I started streaming. This is almost a neon yellow. It didn't look that neon. That's why you always swatch your pencils. Always, 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 when you get new pencils, swatch them, because the way they look on the barrel or on the end or whatever is not going to be the way they look on the paper. It's just not. I mean, immediately, these are softer. They glide nicer across the paper. They just feel different as you're laying them down. The lead, the whatever, the lead is not as hard. It's not like the Crayolas almost feel like you're coloring with plastic. It's just that much harder. Try to do this fairly quickly. Oh yeah, this is so much more satisfying. Sorry, Crayola, I love you, but if I were still a beginner, that would be fine to deal with your limitations. But now that I've started doing professional artwork, I just can't with the Crayola ones anymore. I just can't. The quality is just insanely different. And this is still, besides the Crayola, this is my second cheapest set. But the leap up in quality is amazing. Amazing. If you don't know who Jesse Lee Peterson is, Jesse Lee Peterson, look into that. Jesse Lee Peterson is a mess. A hot mess. He has certain phrase words that he uses, like amazing, and I find myself using them now that I've watched some videos with him in it, of him debating people who have rational minds, because he certainly does not. He's a crazy misogynist. And I mean that absolutely, he is a misogynist. He would probably like to live in a world where there were no women. I'm rushing through this really fast. I don't usually make such big strokes with my pencil because you run the risk of streaking it. But, like, this pencil isn't even sharp anymore. But I'm just trying to get... So we can compare these two, the two cheapest brands, the drawings. I want to look at them side by side and see if there's a difference in the way the art looks. Oh, that's right, my brother called me. Shoot, I gotta call him back. I will give him a ringy-dingy back here after a while, if I remember. Might have to be tomorrow. It's my birthday. If I forget things on my birthday, that's just how it is. God, the difference in pigment is just crazy. I have to do a whole lot less work for the same color payoff between these and the Crayolas. Like, I barely have to use these, and they're putting lots of yellow down. They're not as patchy and streaky looking, although I've still got a few patches and streaks here. They're not as bad as the Crayola ones were. Even though the Crayolas aren't the greatest in the world, don't let your budget keep you from making art, man. Buy the Crayola pencils. Buy the cheap dollar poster boards. Just make art. Just do something creative. That's what matters. And the only way to get better is to practice. And it doesn't matter what materials you're using, whether they're expensive or cheap. If you're not practicing and getting better, it doesn't really matter. So you gotta do art all the time to stay good at it and get good at it. You have to do it a lot. Okay, I gotta sharpen this pencil. Almost done with these little wedges. Okay. 3 more. I don't really even have to look at the reference anymore. I kind of understand what's going on. Pretty much do this out of memory now. Can't believe I've been streaming for over 2 hours. That's amazing. It's the longest I've ever gone. No friends, so I just get bored. It's like I'm sitting here talking to myself, so I end up getting bored, and I'm like, okay, an hour is enough. I don't know about streaming for long periods of time, but I could do it every day, and it wouldn't bother me. Just not for as many hours at a time. Now, I turn this page to where the shadow's now over here. That's still going to be the darker part, and that's still going to be the lighter part. Okay. Wonder how this is going to compare in the finished product to the Crayola one. Wonder which one's going to. I wonder if they'll look identical. So both look the same. It'll be like, there's no difference between these two. I'll have Brad look at them and see if he sees a difference. See these little white patches that didn't get filled in here and there because I'm going fast. So I'm being a little more sloppy. Just trying to get this done. So I can go back to working on the dude that I was working on earlier. Almost finished with his background. Alright, almost done with the wedges. This is too much space right here. That's better. Careful over there. It's definitely brighter than it looked like it would be. Okay. Okay. I'll go in with the orange. Oh yeah, this goes over the top of this other color so much easier than the Crayolas. Holy cow. The difference in the softness is just amazing. I don't know that they're necessarily going to look that different, but they feel, they feel so different. Like this is, I can't even compare this to the way the Crayolas felt. And the pigment's so much darker too. Ah. Oh, I'm starting to get nauseous. I may have to cut this off and finish it up next week, or maybe tomorrow, like I said. So I really need to eat. I'm really getting sick to my stomach. It's my birthday. I don't want to be nauseous on my birthday. Okay. Yeah, these colors are so much brighter. Holy cow. This is just plain orange. That's what the Crayola was too, plain orange. Okay. Oh, this orange is just really banging. It's really bright. It's done. It's done. Oh yeah, I've got that Nina Turner thing to watch. I was gonna say, I wonder what I'll watch after I'm done streaming. I take a little break from art and just watch a video or something for a minute. Got the Nina Turner thing. Like I said, I want her to be my president. She's amazing. This country could really use a strong, intelligent, kick-ass black woman as a leader. We are long overdue for that. We need it. We need Nina Turner in our lives. Oh, I forgot wearing makeup. Start rubbing my eyes. Dance, magic, dance. Labyrinth's running through my mind. I've got songs from it and dialogue from it. Oh no, I can't just get a song stuck in my head. I have to get whole chunks of movies stuck in my head. That's okay because it's on Netflix right now, so I can always watch it again if I need to get it out of my head. Okay, so there's the yellow and the orange. Oh, I didn't do the shadow first. I just jumped right in here. Okay, shadow. This is definitely a darker, more pigmented gray than that Crayola one was. Oh, it's a little patchy. Yeah, this isn't the greatest gray I've ever used. This really is pretty much comparable to the Crayola. It's not much better. It's not as smooth and creamy feeling. It's not as pigmented. Feels like it's just leaving more wax behind and less pigment. Yeah, that's interesting. I really want a cigarette, but I'm not going to smoke on YouTube. Alright, get the shadow going. Yeah, this is just kind of a streaky gray. It's not the greatest gray I've ever used. It's definitely not a Prismacolor. Those grays are butter soft. They're coming up pretty soon. Okay, now I used the blue. Cool that shadow down a little bit. I'm really curious to compare these two drawings, the two least expensive colored pencil drawings. It'd be weird if the colored pencil, if the Crayola one ended up looking the best. That would be weird. If I do all of them and it even looks better than the Luminance. Alright. Got the blue into the shadow. It almost wants to pull that gray up. This blue does. Let's on the outside here.
you saw my stuff, it wants me to join the faction.
What?
You saw my stuff I was doing. This is a creative practice
Uh-huh.
that I found. And I just started playing. It's open with password and everything. And he's like, I like your stuff. Are you in a faction? You like to join it? Yeah, because you're playing by yourself. And so I thought I wouldn't have to do with that. In the last season I was in, when the guy who invited me to join his group left.
All right, now there was a little bit of orange in the shadow, remember? Right here, that's yellow, that's not orange. It's like right here where the, I can see, right here where the edges of the two tones of the shadow meet is where I saw that orange. There we go. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Next is the green. And the bumps too. Okay. Almost done with this lime. Okay, there we go. That outside looks better, except that it didn't have enough features. It was just all smooth. I don't think that would be right for it to be all smooth. Okay, bring this around this way. Oh, this green lays down so buttery compared to those crayon pencils. Wow. Okay. This is a very, very yellowy green. What is this? Dark yellowish green. Okay. Thought it was more green, but it's more yellow. Well, it's alright. It works. It's not going to not work. Okay. Let's take this out of here. Okay. Shading in this green. Well, that would be interesting to see. I don't remember if these Shuttle Art white pencils are any good or not. I don't remember. I don't think they are, or I would remember. So we'll see if it works at all to blend in these colors. If my white Shuttle Art's going to do anything at all. There's a new set of this brand called Color. They've got 240 pencils out, so I want that. And then there's another one, and I forget what the name is. I think it might be Brute Fruner. They have one that's 520 pencils, and I want that. Or is it 540? Something like that. Some ridiculous number. Let's put a little bit of this in here. This light green doesn't want to go over this. Okay. Okay. I don't have anything to say anymore. I'm like, oh, there's my mom. Happy birthday to my #1 and only daughter. Be glad you didn't have more than just me, Mom. You would have been driven bananas by me and my sisters. Well, this just broke way down in there. Look at that. Really broke. Like, broke. Oh, man. I gotta sharpen this. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's get this line around this lime. We'll put the lime in the coconut. Remember, every once in a while, my grandparents would buy a coconut for a treat. We'd all eat chunks of coconut. That was delicious. Fresh coconut is yummy. Okay, now, I think What I have to do here is, let's try to get this blended. It's not as bad as the, yeah, it is. This is terrible. This is a terrible white colored pencil. Horrible. It's trying to lift up the pencil underneath of it. If I can at least smear these edges in around the sides here, I'll be happy, but this white colored pencil blows. This is terrible. Oh, it's absolutely awful. Not doing any of the things I need it to do. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, it sucks. That's too bad. It's working a little bit here, but not much. Should have used gray instead of orange. Oh well. That's, yeah, that white is not doing anything. Blend these in any? A little bit. Get some of this blended in. This will help a little bit. It's working a little bit up here, but not yet. I need to post that on Facebook. I just haven't done that yet. I want to show it off. I love it. Almost got this smeared in here. It's working a little bit better than the Crayola white, but not much. It almost works. Yeah, it almost does what I want it to, but not quite, which is frustrating. It almost works. That does not need to go sideways like that. It needs to go up and down. Here comes that cough again. I still wear my mask whenever I go out to grocery stores or anything. I wear my mask because I do not want that shit. I do not want to get sick. I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to even think about it. Okay, almost done with the blending, which I give a 2 out of 10. No, I give a 3 out of 10. I give the Crayolas a 1 out of 10. Just not a good white colored pencil. Okay. And now, where's my white gel pen? Where all the light's coming from? Mostly down here. Okay. Make sure this works. Come on. Piece of paper to write on. There's one. Okay. Not wanting to write on top of the shovel art pencils. You must be picking up wax and getting it into the nib.
Nothing's
especially when you're trying to do something. Yeah, this is not performing well on the top of the Shuttle Art pencils. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. This is just not. It is not wanting to lay down on top of these Shuttle Art pencils at all. Yeah, I keep having to wipe the wax out of it. Yeah, it just is not performing on top of that stuff at all. How frustrating. Interesting. I wonder if this will be the only colored pencil that doesn't want to take the white gel pen. I don't remember this being a problem with my art. I don't remember ever trying to put highlights on something and have it not take. Like, it's not. There we go. Almost finished. Then we'll compare these two drawings and see which one someone might think looks better. If one does look better, maybe they don't look. Maybe one doesn't look better than the other one. Okay, I gotta wipe that off again. A whole lot down here. It's a lot of highlights area right here. Almost. Almost done. Okay.
On your server for RAG, it's -3, and on your start, you start on a space station, and there's video running with them doing stuff.
Wow. Yeah, it's really picking up the wax of these Shuttle Art pencils and getting clogged. It's crazy. I mean, this is a real problem. It definitely didn't do this with the Crayola ones that went right on the top. Alright, we're almost done. Okay. Anything else? Oh yeah. I didn't do this for the other one. I may go back and do it. Put some divots in here and there. Shit. Okay. Let's do this to the other one too, so they're even. Where's that gray that I was using? No, yes, yes. Put the little bumps in the sides of this one, grind. I left this out. I'm gonna do it right here. Nah, they don't. Just want to work. Okay. That gray would not go over that green. So that was not really worth the time. Okay. So here is the shuttle art. And here is the Crayola. So let's see. This one definitely has more pigment, brighter color. All right, well, I did it. I did I did part of it. I'm going to do the other three limes tomorrow night, and or maybe next week. We'll see how I feel about tomorrow night. And so, which is your favorite? Can you tell the difference? I definitely prefer the shuttle art one. It's just brighter and more colorful, more pigmented. All right, so good night to everybody. Love you much. It was fun, as usual. Good night.